Welcome to Wrestling with Heart, a podcast looking at pro wrestlers giving back to their community. Join me, Stanley Carr, as I interview wrestling's hottest names who use their platforms as entertainers to raise awareness and do community service. Hello and welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Heart. This is the show where we talk with professional wrestlers and professional wrestling personalities about their lives in and outside of the ring, as well as doing acts of charity work, community service, volunteering, and spreading positivity. We're always about the positive vibes here on the show. And with me right now, I've got a very special guest. She is the First Lady of Wrestling, has worked in a variety of different roles in various promotions, WCW, ECW, Impact Wrestling, and many others. Pleased to welcome the one, the only, Missy Hyatt. Welcome to Wrestling with Heart.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's my pleasure. So, talk to me about your childhood. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Tallahassee, Florida, where I live now, as a matter of fact. I bought my parents' retirement home, and so I live in Tallahassee, where I grew up. When I was 18, I didn't want to live here. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm never coming back. But of course, there's no place like home. And after my dad passed away, I didn't want my mom to live alone. So I moved from New York City back to Tallahassee and moved in with her. And then I got too much stuff. So I couldn't move back to New York. So I decided to buy their house. So
I'd imagine it's warmer weather at times in Florida.
Yeah, the weather's great. The weather is so much better than New York. And I don't have to shovel any snow.
Yeah, a lot of hustle and bustle in New York, you know.
Yeah.
So
and it's changed a lot since I've been there. So I'm kind of glad I'm not there.
Okay. Now, was wrestling something you watched as a kid growing up before you got into it?
No, I didn't start watching wrestling until I was 17 years old. I knew about it. I knew who Dusty Rhodes was because everybody knew who Dusty Rhodes was in Florida. And I had a friend in high school that loved wrestling. I remember that, Dana. And I didn't really watch it till I was 17. I saw the Freebirds on TV and fell in love with it. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. You know, you're 17 years old. You don't know what you want. And I said, that's what I want to do.
Right from then and there. Okay.
Yeah.
So Dusty Rhodes, was he one of your favorites in the Freebirds?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Dusty Rhodes was the best. When I saw the Freebirds on TV, because they were doing something with Terry Gordy, they were putting a baby bonnet on his head and a baby pacifier in his mouth and everything, and he was running around. I was like, what is this? My dad's like, oh, this is wrestling. And he was flipping channels and everything. I was like, well, stop. Don't change the channel, you know.
When you're a kid or when you're first starting watching, a lot of times I know people will like to cheer the good guys, boo the bad guys.
Oh yeah. I was total fan Missy. I was so fangirl. Loved the baby faces. But but Michael was a heel, but I still loved him anyway. Michael Hayes. I don't know why, but I loved Tommy Wildfire Rich. Let me tell you something. Back in the early 80s now, Tommy Wildfire Rich was the cat's pajamas. He was Mr. Cable TV. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now, do you recall your first memory of reaching out or contacting the promoters about possibly getting involved with the company?
No, I mean, I was dating Hollywood John Tatum, and that's how I kind of got involved in it. I had sent some pictures to George Scott, the booker in WWE. And they called me. And then when John told David Manning told he told Rick Hazard, who told David Manning that WWE had called. So they were like, oh, we better hire her. So he's like, hey, do you want to be a valet? I was like, yeah, I do. So that's how it all started. And so I started out with Johnny Tatum in World Class Wrestling. In 85. This is my 40th anniversary year. And I have an action figure coming out this year, too.
Wow, happy anniversary. That's very exciting.
Yeah, September will be 40 years for me.
Wow.
I know.
So, now, starting out, because you're not a wrestler, you're a manager.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about your first experience walking through that behind the curtain.
Oh my God. Well, I went out, they told me to go out there and I had to hit Sunshine with my purse, and I fell. I slipped because it was beer all over the place and I slipped and I fell, but I I fell when I hit her, and it was funny. I was like appalled, but it was okay. It worked out okay, and everything was okay. But I'll never forget. I was so like scared and so nervous, and it was just like I still get the butterflies anytime I go through the curtain. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people out there or 100,000 people out there. I don't know if I've ever been in front of 100,000 people crowd. Anyway, all I know is but I still get butterflies in my stomach.
What pieces of advice were you given starting out by uh, your trainers or people that were working with you at the time? If this was world class, anybody backstage give you some advice or guidance to
Well,
get
I
you
mean,
started?
Ken Mantell would give me ideas of stuff to do. But no, me and Johnny would be riding down the road and we'd come up with ideas and do things like that. It was mostly Hollywood John Tatum. And then when I got to UWF, it was Michael Hayes, as a matter of fact. Michael Hayes helped me a lot too in doing things.
Anything that he told you that still sticks with you today that you recall?
No, but the one thing that Terry Funk told me was if you ever get stabbed when you're coming back from the ring, you did a good job. I know. It makes you wonder, like, well, do I really want to do a good job? Did I get stabbed? Or,
I mean, when you're out there, lots of stuff can go wrong. It's
I
live
know. And if you're
TV.
a heel, I mean, back in the day, I would come back with beer all on me and gum in my hair and nacho cheese and mustard and ketchup and hot dogs and everything. Beer thrown on me. My dad was like, I would send him tapes. My dad's like, I'm not watching that. I can't watch my daughter get beer thrown on her. Just we walk out and they go, beer on you.
Well,
it was fun. It was great.
well, if you're a heel getting booed and getting all these reactions, it must mean something, like you're doing your job.
Exactly. I'm doing my job. That's cost of doing job.
Well, talk to me about you mentioned you were with Hollywood John Tatum. What was it like working with him?
Oh, it was great. It was the best. And I wish I would have never left Johnny for Eddie, but I did. And that's, you can't change the past. You just got to look forward, and everything happens for a reason. That's what you got to tell yourself. But I loved working with Johnny, and I wish me and John could have worked together longer, but I was just young and dumb and stupid.
Well, when did you first meet Eddie Gilbert?
In UWF. And when we went there in, what was it? I think 87. Yeah. 86, 87. And that's when I met him.
What was it like working with Eddie during this point in time?
Eddie was really smart, and when it came to wrestling, he was really talented ideas and stuff like that. But he didn't need me. It's like Eddie was a good talker. Johnny would talk, but Johnny sounded like he was drunk, and he wasn't drunk or anything like that. He just sounded that way. He's like, oh. So I needed to be with somebody that didn't need to talk, that couldn't talk. Put me with somebody that couldn't talk, because that was my thing. I could talk and get us over. But Eddie didn't really need me. So, but we worked together anyway.
The thing with managing is that you have to find someone that works well. It's like that chemistry.
You gotta have that yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta, their strengths is your weaknesses, and their weaknesses is your strength. And that's a good thing. And me and Johnny work the best together. I've managed a lot of people. Like I'll never forget, I managed Robert Fuller. And as we're walking out the ring, he's like, slow down. Because I was like, do. I managed a lot of people, and I enjoyed managing different people, and it's fun. But to find someone that you really mesh with is really, really good thing. And it's really, and it's something that you shouldn't throw away because you think you're in love.
I've talked to so many people on the show, different wrestling personalities that were managers. I feel like it's kind of a lost art. Did you feel the same way?
It is. It really is. And it stinks because you know what? Guys and girls can be managers. And I don't know why they don't really have them. Everything in wrestling goes ups and downs.
In cycles.
It'll be hot for a while, then it won't be. Then something will be hot for a while, and it won't be. So I guess managing now is in a lull. Maybe it'll come back. I hope it comes back.
Yeah,
especially female managers.
yeah. I mean, because I think that when you have somebody that can talk, be that mouthpiece for someone, it adds to the presentation. You
Yeah,
know.
and you got that heel guy that needs that little oomph, you know. Put him with a manager, male or female, you know, and it helps him just as much as it does the manager.
And you've gotten to be involved with so many different people over the course of your time.
Yeah, it's lucky. I got to manage the Steiner brothers, and I even Sting came out with us. We came out with Sting back in UWF and the Steiners and Nasty Boys and a bunch of people.
Yeah, I mean, you got to also have a program with Paulie Dangerously,
Yeah, that was
Paul
fun.
Heyman.
Yeah.
What was it like working with him during this time?
It was fun. He was so naughty. Okay. He had the whole New York show to talk crap about me. Oh, he talked a lot of smack about me on there, and I didn't get that chance. I didn't get a chance to get him back, but he did a rap on me because it was like me and PN News against him and somebody. You know, we went all around for the Great American Bash tour, and he would do this rap and then call me a hoe at the end. And I was like, listen, they came to Tallahassee, and my daddy was there, not my mom, my dad's there. I was like, listen, don't do the rap that you call me a hoe because my dad's here. He did it anyway. Oh my God, when it was time for me to pin him, I kicked him really hard. I'm like, that's your receipt. I think I almost broke my baby toe. I kicked him so hard, and then I covered him 1, 2, 3. But yeah, Paulie's a stinker, but I love him.
Did you have an arm wrestling match with him?
Yeah, yeah. We had the arm wrestling match on the Clash of the Champions.
What was that like?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. I didn't know what we were gonna do until Dusty told me. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna, you know, take your jacket off and be like, woo," and then have Paul go, "Oh," and then So yeah, it was fun.
And do you also get to work with Medusa as well?
Yeah, with Medusa, we did the bikini black the bikini contest for First Lady or something like that. I forget. And that was at Bash of the Beach. I think it was 93, 92 or 93. I don't even remember. It's just, I've done so much and it's done so much that it's all crowded in my head.
Yeah, I mean, when you've been working for so long, dates just kind of escape you,
And
you
I've been
know?
knocked in the head so many times that a lot of stuff that I say is like all jumbled up and crazy. So just, be careful. I've had injuries.
But yeah, I mean, you had some feuds over the years, like with Heyman and with Medusa, and getting to work with
And
a
with
variety of different people.
Stevie
Stevie
Richards in
Richards.
ECW, yeah.
You did commentary as well. What was it
Right. I
like
did
working?
commentary. I hosted the show. I had the 900 hotline. I was the first woman to win a man's belt because I won the Canadian World Heavyweight Championship belt in Canada before China did. I had first woman to co-host a show, do locker room interviews, first woman to do all that stuff. I'm a first.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have quite the resume, and getting to be such an important part of the wrestling business. I mean, when you go to these conventions and see people, it has to feel good, when people come to you and have all
I
these
can't believe people
memories.
still want my autograph, and I appreciate it so much because, like, I'm coming up. I'm going to be in Indianapolis and West Virginia, and I have a few shows coming up in Philadelphia, and people still want my autograph and want a picture with me. And to me, it's the coolest thing in the world that people still do. You know, I love it. And then I get these young fans that like, I can't believe I watched Clash of the Champions and you and Paul Lee. And I'm like, you weren't even born then. How do you remember that? And they go, oh, it's on Peacock or whatever, or Paramount or whatever channel they saw it on. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. So that's kind of cool.
Now, do you have a favorite person that you managed or
Yes,
people
that'd
in
be
general?
Hollywood John Tatum.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, do you keep up at all with the current product at all
Yeah, I
currently?
sure do. I watch. I have an eclectic taste of wrestling. I like um New Japan. I like let's say AAA. I watch a little bit of AEW, more just to see the new talent and see, and I'll hear about something, so I'll have to watch. Yeah, I like Japanese and the Mexican style wrestling. So, and
What is it
I
about?
love Game Changer. That's my new favorite, is Game Changer.
What is it about the Japanese and Mexican scenes that appeals
I
to
don't know.
you?
It's just like it's really fast. It's really good. They still tell a story in their matches, especially the Japanese. They still tell a story in their matches, which is a lost art that they don't really do here in the United States. And so I enjoy that. But Game Changer is probably my favorite American. I mean, and you can, if you have Triller TV, you get to watch them live on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. I think it is. Brett Lauderdale is an awesome guy. What an awesome guy, and what an awesome company.
What is it about storytelling
Well,
that
that's
what is
the
it
whole
about?
thing about wrestling. You got to tell a story, and you got to have angles, and you got to have feuds and everything. And they're losing all that because Tony Khan wants all 4-star matches on the dirt sheets. And it's like, you can't have all 4-star matches. Television used to be an info commercial for wrestling for you to go and buy the pay-per-view or go see the show live. Now it's a television product. So they put all the good stuff on TV. And why should you go and pay to go watch it and drive to the arena, get out, go pay, go sit in a place with a whole bunch of other people when you can sit at home and eat nachos or jalapeno poppers and sit at home, and the jalapeno poppers only cost you $3 compared to $12. And you can watch all the good matches for free at home. They've lost the idea of what TV meant. But wrestling's changed, can't help it. That wrestling changes with the times.
It's definitely evolved over the years, but
Sure.
like
Yeah.
as we've been talking, you've definitely been involved in a lot of interesting programs and feuds that did tell
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah. We tried.
Now, I want to switch gears and talk about some of the stuff you've done outside of wrestling. I know you've been involved with a lot of animal rescue uh, endeavors over the years.
Yeah, I started out with Russell Rescue, and then when I lived in New York, I was with Russell Refuge, and now I work. Well, I don't work because it's all volunteer, but I take in old Jack Russells that nobody wants. I've had Nico, Abigail. Then my latest one is Alvin. I got him when he was 17. He only weighed 9 pounds. He should weigh about 20. The guy that had him starved him. And before that, I'm sorry, I had a little girl that her mom had a stroke, and she couldn't take care of her. So they called me and they said, "Would you mind taking care of this little dog?" And I was like, "Of course," until she could learn how to walk again and everything. So I did that, and then that was Sunshine, and then my newest one, Alvin. Well, he's not really that new because I've had him for so long now. He was 17. It's been over 4 years now. So he's almost 22 years old. And he weighed only like 9 pounds when I got him. He looked like a skeleton. Like when you see the Tyrannosaurus Rexes, in the museums, that's what Alvin looked like when I got him. You could see all the his rib cage and the bones in his back and everything. So I fattened him up, and he's deaf, and he walks around a little confused, but the vet said that's normal for him to be a little confused. And that's my life. I love my Jack Russells. At one time I had like 7 Fosters at my house, but I just now I already have 2. I have one blind one that my girlfriend called me. It was in Lake City, Florida. And my girlfriend called me and she's like, the resource officer found a Jack Russell. He's not a Jack Russell. His head's a Jack Russell, but his body is like a beagle or a wiener dog. But they didn't tell me that. They just sent me a picture of his head. So I was like, okay, I'll adopt him. I'll come down and get him. Yeah, I get there. And I'm like, this is not a Jack Russell. It's a fake Jack Russell. But anyway, of course I took him. And he's blind, and he's not even a year old. So I have him. And then I have Henry, who's about 10, who has a nervous condition, who's on Prozac. Poor little dog. And then I have old Alvin. So I cap it at 3 now, because when you get like 7 in the house, it's just it's pandemonium. And you
Yeah.
can only walk like 3 to 4 at a time. I tried walking like all 7 and I got all tangled up and had to yell for the neighbors to come out and get me untangled from the leashes. So I realized that that you see in the movies when you see those dog walkers with 20 dogs, it's bullshit. It's a lie. Cannot be done. Cannot physically, mentally, and whatever else cannot be done.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you're really running an operation trying to get all these dogs in
exactly.
shape.
And to get them to all go in one place, there's a bunch of trainers. There's a trainer for each one of those dogs they have on a leash. Because I have tried it more than once to walk more than 4 dogs at a time, and you cannot be done. Cannot be done.
Were you always a dog lover?
Yeah, pretty much. I've had dogs and cats. I have 2 cats now, 2 feral cats that come in through the doggy doors, and they're feral. They got them feral claws, and I've always been an animal person. If I could, I would have all kinds of animals. But my HOA would frown on it if I had like seals and otters and an ostrich in the backyard.
What is it about giving back to the community that gives you the most joy?
Well, I think what I do when I do it for the cats, like I feed 6 feral cats that live out in my yard. And I know my neighbors don't appreciate it, but somebody's got to take care of them. We domesticated the animals. It's our duty to take care of them. And for people that go, like I saw a ring footage of somebody that dropped a dog off and the dog chased the car as they were driving away. When they dropped them off, take it to a shelter or something. There's a special place in hell for people that do shit like that. And I think it's our duty that we domesticated them, that we should take care of them. And I'll take care of any animal that comes to my door.
Yeah,
I'll
I mean,
feed it. I'll feed it and take care of it.
you want to give those animals a special place where they can live and
Yeah.
feel happy and feel
Yeah,
loved.
I brought out when it got really cold down here. I tried cracking my garage door for them, but they wouldn't come in. So I took out a down comforter and I have a bed on the front porch, and so I put the down comforter out there for them so they could all snuggle up. But they're real furry. My outdoor cats are real furry. And then Shaniqua and Tiger Lily, like I brought Shaniqua in because she came up to me and was loving on me, and she was a feral. So I brought her in the house to say, I'm going to bring you in the house and make you a house cat and you're going to have a new life. And da, 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 da. She was in the house 4 days, figured out how to get through the doggy doors. So now she comes and goes as she pleases. And she brought in the 2 tiger lilies, brought them in and showed them how to get in. Tiger Lily can only pet her sometimes when we're laying in bed and they lay on me in bed, and she'll let me pet her head. But if I try to walk up to her, she runs. She's a little chicken, but she's feral. So yeah. So my
Yeah.
house is a animal shelter, animal haven.
Well, you're very passionate about something, and you have, just by the way we're talking, you seem like, this is something you love and you care about.
I do.
And
I swear, if I could afford it, and I would have so many animals. I would take in anybody that I don't care what it is. I would take it in.
yeah. Well, before we wrap things up, you talked about the Japanese Mexican scene and GCW. Do you have a particular favorite wrestler now, or have a few wrestlers that you enjoy seeing
I
now coming
love
up?
Charlotte Flair. I love um oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm having a brain. Her and we did a thing in Game Changer. It is she's in WWE right now. Um this is gonna just piss me off. Chelsea Green. Thank you, Missy. I do have brain damage. No. I think it's just being stupid. Anyway, no, I love Chelsea Green. I think she is amazing, 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 amazing person. And then there's a girl out in Phoenix called Samaya. She is awesome too. So those are my favorite ladies. As for guys, I don't have a favorite guy. MK Bandit, I like him, but he's a manager. I only like him because he's my boyfriend. So
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll see Missy Hyatt return as a manager someday.
I would love that. I would love that. But I doubt it'll ever happen because I'm so old, but I would love that.
Well, this has been wonderful getting the chance to speak with you. It means a lot to me and to my listeners and viewers that are watching this on YouTube. Where can people find out more about you, how they can get in touch with you, about
Just
your...
get Missy Hyatt at Twitter. I'm on there. Hit me up. Check me out. Follow me. And that I tell where I'm doing. And you got to send me all the links and stuff for this so I can put it up on my Twitter and my Facebook and my Instagram.
Yes,
I'm the real Missy Hyatt on Instagram if you want to follow me on Instagram.
All right, I will be happy to do that, and I'll send this out. We'll get it all put up. So,
okay.
Thanks again, and you're more than welcome to come back.
Okay, thank you very much. I sure will.
All right, take care.
This is Wrestling with Heart. I hope you found this podcast to be informative and entertaining. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and look out for the next edition.